What's going on, Rob Mob? Coming at you again with another video. You'll notice this one again will be interest rates. I think that's a really important concept that I think scholars need to understand. So make sure to pay very close attention to this problem because there is a very specific way I think you should set it up to help you solve the problem and solve other problems similar to this when you come across them. All right, let's get started. Roger has a $600 of credit card debt. This debt accrues 15% interest. Accrues means adds 15% interest each month on whatever balance is left over at the end of the month. Very important. It is whatever it is left over at the end of the month. Additionally, Roger pays at least $200 towards his debt during each month. How long will it take for Roger to pay off his debt? All right, so there are a couple of different ways to approach this problem, but there is one specific way I think that scholars should use to really help them visualize what is going on in the problem. So I'm going to start off. We know that there is a certain amount of money that Roger owes, right? And he owes that money today. So we're going to call this over here the beginning of the month, and then things are happening to his balance, and then we will find a end of month balance. All right? So, beginning of the month. Beginning of the first month, what is happening? We are starting off with $600 with his credit card debt. This right here is our month. I'm going to call this month 0 because it is our first month. It is not the first month, it is the month that we are starting at. All right, so in month 0, we have $600. So what is happening during this month? We know that during each month, Roger is paying $200. So if he's paying off debt, we are minusing from the debt. So we are paying off $200, and that is going to leave us with $400 of debt during this month. So what happens to that $400? We know 15% of interest accrues at the end of the month. And as we slowly start to approach the end of the month, this side of the paper, you're going to notice that the money is going to change. So we have $400. This is what is left over. And now we are adding 15% or 0.15 of our $400, our credit balance that is left over. And as most of you can probably recognize, 15% of 400 is going to be 60. And this is our interest. And what we are left with at the end of the month is this $400 plus the interest it accrues, which is going to be $460. Now, this gives us the value at the end of the first month that we are starting at, which is month 0. All right, so we know that we still owe $460. So the problem is asking us to find out how long it will take for Roger to pay off his total debt. So we have to start this process all over again. Now we're in a new month. Here we are in month 1, at the start of month 1, right? And 600 was our starting balance before. What is our new starting balance? It will be the amount that was left over from the previous month. So we're just going to take that value and drop it right over here. $460 is our starting point, starting value for this month. So what is happening? We go through the same process. Roger's paying off $200 during the course of the month, and that is going to leave us with what his debts will be left over at the end of that month. So $260 left. What happens to that $260? It increases, it accrues 15% more interest. So 15% of whatever is left over is going to accrue. In this case, 15% of 260 is going to be $39. And that is our interest. So what is left over at the end of the month? It is going to be $299. And this is our end of month 1. So we're still not at that 0. We still have debt left, so we have to keep continuing the process. So we take this value right here, and drag it on over, and now we are starting once again with our 260. This is at the beginning of month 2. And now we are minusing that $200 once again. Oh, I'm sorry, not 260, it's 290, 299, because that is our last month. 299 is the amount that we are starting with at this time period at the beginning of month 2. We are minusing another $200 that he is paying, and what we are left with is $99. So this balance is still above zero. It still exists. He still owes a little bit of money, so that accrues more interest. Another 15% of that 99, which is going to be $14.85. And so what we are left with at the end of the second month is going to be $113.85. Now, this is a part of problems similar to this that scholars tend to get kind of confused on, is now he has $113.85. We know at the beginning of the problem that Roger will pay at least $200. Up to $200 he will pay, right? No more than that, right? But in this case, there's only $113.85 left to pay. So at the beginning of our third month, we are going to pull this number down right here, $113.85, $113.85. This is our beginning of month 3. And now we are minusing not 200 because you can't have a negative debt. We are minusing up to the amount that he still owes. So we are going to minus the balance that is left over because that is less than the $200. That you can't have a negative debt. So he's just minusing this amount, and what we are left with is $0 worth of debt. So there's $0 here. You know that this can increase by another percent because if we add 15% of 0, 15% of 0 is going to be 0, and that is going to leave us with $0 at the end of the month, at the end of month 3. So if we look back, it took us 1, 2, 3, and then Roger finished paying off the debts in the 4th month.